be used as a platform for governments, electoral bodies, and organizations of persons with disabilities. And to begin today's program, report by the President of Indonesia Disabled People's Association, Mr. Gufroni Sakarin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Honorable Chair of the General Election Commission of Indonesia, Mr. Husni Kamil Malik, Director of Country Program of the Association of World Election Bodies, Mr. Soyum Choi, Deputy Politik, Law and Security of the National Planning Agency, Mr. Rizky Ferianto, Excellency Australian Ambassador to ASEAN, Mr. Simon Philip Mervat, Indonesia Representative to ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission of Human Rights, Mr. Rafedi Jamin, DPO Director and Election Commissioner from Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, Myanmar, Timor-Leste, Fiji, Egypt, Bangladesh, Libya, Korea, and Indonesia. National Coordinator of the People Voter Education Network, Mr. Muhammad Afifuddin, Representative Civil Society and Disabled People Organization, member of the Agenda Network, and other representatives from civil society, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the third regional dialogue on access to election for persons with disabilities. We are delighted to see you here to participate and share at the third regional dialogue conference hosted by General Election Network for Disabled Access Agenda, Indonesian General Election Commission and Association of World Electoral Bodies. Thank you for coming. That's many of you travel long distance to remind us of just how important our work is to uphold political participation of persons with disabilities. For the last 2 years, PPDI, Indonesian Association of People with Disabilities, is working for the political right of persons with disabilities together with international funding for electoral system, IFES, and People Voter Education Network, GPPR. Despite the right of persons with disabilities has been protected by various international legal instruments such as the Convention on the Right of People with Disabilities. Many things still need to be fixed in order to improve electoral access for persons with disabilities. Among others, activities such as monitoring election in several provinces in Indonesia and also in the few Southeast Asian countries, Agenda has held 2 regional dialogues. On the second regional dialogue in 2013, Agenda has produced a Bali commitment on equal access to election. This third regional dialogue will bear the term of upholding the political participation for persons with disabilities, enabling accessible election. For this event, we are honored to have the KPU or Electoral Commission Body who also is the co-host for this regional dialogue. KPU has been very supportive of agenda, and has put up provision for accessible election in Indonesia and the presidential election of 2014. Through this event, we also would like to give big appreciation to Bluebird Company, who provide transportation for all the participants. Bluebird is the only taxi company in Indonesia who has commitment to serve persons with disability by providing life care cars that can be used by wheelchair users. I think Bluebird's company has good reputation in Indonesia. This event is attended by 27 countries and over of 125 participants. So prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired in this regional dialogue. So hopefully we will have some new commitment and outcome on improving political participation of persons with disabilities. On behalf of PPDI and the Agenda Committee, welcome to the regional dialogue. It's a pleasure to see so many of you here. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And next, welcome speech by the National Coordinator of the People's Vote Education Network. Please welcome Mr. M. Afifuddin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To the Honorable Chair of the General Election Commission of Indonesia, Bapak Husni Kamil Manik, Director of Country Program of Association of World Election Bodies, Mr. Suyang Choi, Deputy Bappenas, Perwakilan Depdagri dan Departemen Pariwisata, Indonesia representative to the Asian Intergovernmental Commission of Human Rights, Bapak Raffi Jamin, His Excellency the Australian Ambassador to ASEAN, Mr. Simon Philip Merville, President of Indonesian Disabled People Association, Bapak Gufron Sagaril, DPO Director and Election Commission from Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, Myanmar, and Timor-Leste, Fiji, Egypt, Bangladesh, Libya, Korea, and Indonesia. A representative of national and international GSO and DPOs, member of the Agenda Network, and other representative for civil society, member of diplomatic and donor communities. Selamat pagi, pleasant morning. Firstly, in this opportunity, please allow me to represent Agenda GBPR in welcoming you to the third Southeast Asia Regional Dialogue regarding electoral access for persons with disabilities, a forum initiative to conduct dialogue and share experiences between election activists, election experts, EMBs, KPU and Bawaslu, and persons with disabilities about issues concerning the right of persons with disabilities in the elections. Secondly, we would like to convey our most sincere gratitude and appreciations for your attendance here in our event. And thirdly, we would like to convey that this activity is a regular event held by Agenda Consortium that is comprised by GBPR, PPDI, and IFES with the financial support of Australia government through DFAT. Agenda is an example of collaboration between activists and EMBs with the DPOs to improve electoral accessibility. The program and advocacy was initiated in 2010, and this is the agenda third regional dialogue. The first was in Jakarta, the second was in Bali. Some of you have participated in the previous regional dialogue, while we also welcome participants who attend our dialogue for the first time. In the third regional dialogue is particularly special as we are fully supported by KPU, General Election Commission of Indonesia, and also IWEB, and to whom we would like to convey our deepest gratitude. The third regional dialogue is also held following the legislative and presidential election in Indonesia last year. Discussion about election in society is still a hot topic, particularly as we are about to have Indonesia's first simultaneous regional election. We hope that in this forum we can share practice and electoral accessibility implemented in the legislative and presidential election, and we would also listen to you on the matter of those practice. The variety of participants attending this regional dialogue, representing the EMBs, KPU, Bawaslu, election NGO, DPOs, election expert, disability expert, academicians, and media journalists will hopefully make for very rich exchange of experience and perspective to better achieve an accessible election in the future. At last, this forum we hope to find ideas to make accessible election become a mainstream issue in any elections process. Collaboration of all of the parties is the main key to achieve accessible election. Once again, we representing agenda welcome you to Jakarta. Selamat datang and wish you the best for the regional dialogue. May this forum be beneficial for us all. Thank you very much. Allahumma fiq ila aqwamit thariq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us now welcome Director of the Association of World Election Bodies, AWEB, Mr. Soo Young Choi.
Thank you. Mr. Suni Kamil Manik, Chairman of the Indonesian Election Commission, His Excellency Simon Philip Merrifield, Ambassador of Australia to ASEAN, commissioners and representatives from election management bodies from around the world, and representatives from various NGOs and organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the members of the Association of World Election Bodies, AWEB, I welcome all of you to the 2015 Annual Conference of Agenda. AWEB is very pleased and honored to sponsor this regional dialogue together with IFES. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate the men and women of Agenda and IFES on successfully organizing this important event in a most professional and effective manner. Ladies and gentlemen, on November 19th, 1863, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, delivered a speech in Gettysburg, Philadelphia, which is considered to be one of the most inspiring and historic speeches. President Lincoln concluded his legendary speech by declaring that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Ever since then, this last paragraph has been so numerously cited that now it has become the very words that characteristically define the essence of democracy. Indeed, such government of the people, by the people, and for the people have not only survived the American Civil War, but also flourished all around the world. Today, Even the most repressive government claim that they are people's government. I dare to say that there is little or no argument today that the government should be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. However, if you ask whether the modern-day government are of all the people, by all the people, and for all the people, the answer, unfortunately, becomes less clear. There are still millions of people who are practically barred from participating in political and electoral process against their wills, even in countries which are considered to be most advanced in democracy. They are kept out of this political process that may have great impact on their lives, not because their countries have different democratic system, but because they have different sets of need to participate in the process, and most because their government and election management bodies are ignorant or less considerate of their inalienable civil rights. People with different needs still face ballot boxes located on the second, third, or even higher floors without any elevators or access for wheelchairs. Many people cannot participate in important political debate that will decide their future lives only because the organizers fail to accommodate different means of communication such as technologies and braille. As representative of an organization composed of more than 100 world election bodies, I would like to pose this question of our members and myself. How many of us are considerate enough to hire people with disabilities to better understand and accommodate their unique needs to participate in political and electoral process? How often have the election management bodies and government conveniently ignored to accommodate different needs of people with disabilities, claiming that they do not have enough funds, personnel, or even time? How seriously and attentively have we listened to the voices of the people with disabilities calling for action? I understand that many of the EMBs have made honest and strenuous efforts to accommodate the need of people with disabilities to participate in political and electoral process. However, it is also true that not all of us could easily answer the questions I just asked. AUF thinks that it is time to change this. AUF thinks that it is our mission to provide occasions when the EMBs can sit down together with the concerned people to listen attentively and be engaged in a more honest and candid discussions. As the first step of this endeavor, we decided to finance and invite our members in ASEAN to come to this agenda conference. And I'm very pleased and honored to see many familiar faces of our members here today. I sincerely hope that this conference will serve as a cornerstone to renew our commitment, the commitment of the EMBs around the world, and our efforts to accommodate all the people in the political and electoral process. I also wish that this event will provide an occasion to share ideas and experience and to learn from one another. As I said, this is just the beginning of the continuous and everlasting journey that AUF will take to facilitate and expand the accessibility of the people with disabilities to the political and electoral process. How would I make you assured that AUF will never stop in making honest effort in this journey? For those who are not yet aware of, the headquarters AUF is located in Incheon, Korea. Yes, it is the city of the Incheon strategy. As all of you may be already aware of, the Incheon strategy has set up time-bound and measurable goals and targets to make the rights real. The goal number 2 of this strategy is to promote participation of the people with disabilities in political process and in decision making. Taking this opportunity, I would like to assure all of you that AUF will definitely live up to the name of the city where our home base is located. AUF is an association that is internationally organized with more than 100 election management bodies. Although it is a young organization, about 1 year old, it is the largest international community of election bodies in its membership and is full of vitality and dynamism that characterizes its youth. If such an organization begins to work, you will witness a huge difference. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 2 days, I look forward to hearing your ideas, discussing the important topics of agenda, and learning from all of you in this room. I'll bring back to ABEP what I will have seen, listened to, and learned from here, and make your voices and opinions heard loud and clear among our members, so that the election management bodies around the world will renew their commitment and efforts in making the rights real for people, for persons with disabilities. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let us follow welcome speech by Australian Ambassador to ASEAN. Please welcome His Excellency Mr. Simon Philip Marathon.
Deputy Minister Patnas, Pak Rizky Ferianto, Chair of the General Election Commission of Indonesia, Pak Husni Kamil Manek, Director of Country Programs of AWEB, Mr. Suyong Choi, Indonesia ACHA Representative, Pak Rafendi Jamin, President of the Indonesian Disabled People's Association, Pak Gufroni Sakaril, National Coordinator of the People's Voter Education Network, Pak Muhammad Afifuddin, Directors and Election Commissioners from Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, Myanmar, Timor-Leste, Fiji, Egypt, Bangladesh, Libya, Korea, and Indonesia. Representatives of the ASEAN Secretariat, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, selamat pagi, minggu lebar, chimrip sua, sabaidi, sawadee krap, magandang umaga. Welcome to the third Southeast Asian Regional Dialogue on Access to Elections for Persons with Disabilities. As you'll all know, up to 90 million people are estimated to be living with a disability in Southeast Asia. Many people with disabilities face a range of physical and cultural barriers in their everyday lives. We know that the best way to ensure people with disability are able to participate fully in society is not through charity or handouts. It is through empowering people to participate in policy-making processes so they can address these barriers themselves. Australia's Foreign Minister, Julie Bishop, says that Australians with a disability do not want to be, nor should they be, objects of care. They want to be supported, yet as independent as possible and in control of their lives. Well, I suspect the case is no different for people with disability in Southeast Asia. I'd therefore like to congratulate the organisers of this event on their excellent choice of theme, upholding the political rights of persons with disabilities, enabling accessible elections. If people with disabilities can participate effectively in elections, they'll have greater influence over government decisions that affect their lives. This is obviously good for people with disabilities, but it's also a good way to encourage public trust and participation in government more generally. If members of the general public see that the rights of marginalised members of the community are being taken seriously, they are likely to perceive that their government is acting fairly on a whole range of issues. What is good for people with disabilities is good for us all. I was pleased to launch this phase of the ASEAN General Elections Network for Disability Access Agenda in June last year, and to hear more recently of the progress the program has made in just over half a year. These achievements include, firstly, raising the profile of disability issues within ASEAN. Secondly, supporting the implementation of Indonesia's law on disability rights, bringing it more into line with the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Third, developing a curriculum module to train future election professionals from around the world. And finally, training 300 election access observers for the 2014 presidential elections in Indonesia, the country's second largest domestic observation mission. I'd also like to promote agenda's growing global reach and welcome representatives here today from regions beyond ASEAN, including from Pacific Island states. Australia is pleased to be funding the second phase of Agenda. The Australian Government is committed to inclusive development and, like several of our Southeast Asian neighbours, has ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. We see our support for initiatives like Agenda as consistent with our obligations under the Convention and as an investment in well-functioning economies and societies. Australia is also committed to the development of a strong and vibrant ASEAN community, having last year celebrated the 40th anniversary of our partnership with ASEAN as an official dialogue partner. Initiatives like Agenda are helping to support civil society organisations and governments in ASEAN countries to work together to meet the challenges we face in our region. This is in Australia's interest as well as the interests of our ASEAN partners. As such, I wish you all the best for this regional dialogue. I hope it provides a useful opportunity to learn, to network, and to continue promoting disability-inclusive development across all ASEAN member states. Thank you very much.
And before we continue with the next program, we would like to invite Mr. Teguh Widianto from Bluebird, Indonesia, to receive a token of appreciation from the President of Indonesia Disabled People's Association, Mr. Gufroni. Once again, thank you to Bluebird Indonesia for the support. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now follow the speech by the Chairman of the Indonesian Election Commission, KPU, to officially open Agenda 3rd Regional Dialogue on Access to Elections. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Mr. Husni Kamil Manik.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Yang saya hormati Presiden Persatuan Penyandang Disabilitas Indonesia, Bapak Gufroni Sakaril. Yang saya hormati Direktur Association of Awards Election Bodies, AWEB, Mr. Suyong Chai. Yang saya hormati Australian Ambassador to ASEAN, Mr. Simon Philip Merrifield. Yang saya hormati Koordinator Nasional Jaringan Pendidikan Pemilih untuk Rakyat, Bapak Muhammad Afifuddin. Yang saya hormati para pembicara kegiatan agenda kali ini, para peserta sekalian, hadirin yang saya muliakan. Pertama-tama marilah kita memanjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, karena berkat rahmat dan karunia-Nya kita dapat menyelenggarakan kegiatan dalam acara agenda 3rd Regional Dialogue on Access to Election for persons with disabilities dengan tema Upholding the Political Rights of Persons with Disability, Enabling Accessible Election. Kami selaku penyelenggara pemilu di Indonesia memberikan apresiasi dan dukungan sepenuhnya terhadap penyelenggaraan kegiatan ini. Hari ini saya hadir beserta 2 anggota KPU, yaitu Bapak Hadar Nafis Bume, dipersilakan berdiri Pak, yang juga nanti akan menjadi pembicara, dan yang kedua adalah Bapak Arif Budiman yang juga akan menjadi pembicara. Begitu juga hadir di sini mantan anggota KPU Republik Indonesia Bapak Abdul Aziz, silakan Pak. Anggota DKPP Republik Indonesia Ibu Profesor Ana. Teman Bawaslu belum kelihatan ini. Saya ingin menyatakan bahwa penyelenggara pemilu di Indonesia sangat konsen sekali dengan fasilitasi terhadap teman-teman penyandang disabilitas. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, sebagai lembaga penyelenggara pemilu, KPU sangat memprioritaskan hak politik bagi penyandang disabilitas. Hal ini sesuai dengan Deklarasi Universal Hak Asasi Manusia yang ditandatangani tahun 1948, pasal 21 tentang hak-hak sipil dan politik, pasal 25 Konvensi PBB tentang hak-hak penyandang disabilitas, dan juga termaktub dalam Undang-Undang Dasar Negara Republik Indonesia tahun 1945. Tindak lanjut dasar hukum tersebut dijabarkan dalam Undang-Undang Nomor 42 Tahun 2008 tentang Pemilihan Umum Presiden dan Wakil Presiden, Undang-Undang Republik Indonesia Nomor 15 Tahun 2011 tentang Penyelenggara Pemilu, Undang-Undang Nomor 8 Tahun 2012 tentang Pemilihan Umum Anggota DPR, DPD, dan DPRD. Dalam Undang-Undang Nomor 8 Tahun 2012 tentang Pemilihan Umum Anggota DPR, DPD, dan DPRD, pada pasal 157 disebutkan bahwa pemilih tunanetra, tunadaksa, dan yang mempunyai halangan fisik lain pada saat memberikan suaranya di tempat pemungutan suara dapat dibantu oleh orang lain atas permintaan pemilih, serta dalam pasal 142 penjelasan ayat 2 yang mencantumkan bahwa salah satu perlengkapan pemungutan suara adalah alat bantu tunanetra. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, secara teknis Komisi Pemilihan Umum telah mengatur prioritas bagi penyandang disabilitas sejak mulai pendataan pemilih, sosialisasi pemilu, sampai kepada kemudahan untuk memberikan hak pilih di tempat pemungutan suara. Komisi Pemilihan Umum telah memiliki modul dan materi sosialisasi dan pendidikan pemilih khusus untuk pemilih disabilitas. KPU juga bekerjasama dengan PPUA Penca dalam menampung aspirasi dan rekomendasi terkait pemenuhan hak politik penyandang disabilitas pada pemilihan umum di Indonesia. Bapak Ibu, dalam konteks ini saya perlu jelaskan karena dalam pekan lalu ada pemberitaan 11 juta penyandang disabilitas di Indonesia belum terfasilitasi dalam pemilu yang lalu. Saya perlu sampaikan bahwa kita telah memfasilitasi. Hanya saja memang masih ada masyarakat kita yang enggan menyampaikan keterangan dari anggota keluarganya apakah menyandang disabilitas atau tidak, sehingga ini menghambat KPU untuk memfasilitasi lebih jauh dari mereka-mereka yang punya hak pilih tapi menyandang disabilitas. Dalam peraturan KPU telah diatur bahwa tempat pemungutan suara harus memberikan kemudahan bagi penyandang cacat dalam memberikan hak suaranya. Hal itu termasuk meja atau papan untuk menempatkan bilik suara dan untuk pemberian tanda pada surat suara, dan meja atau rongga atau ruang kosong di bawahnya khusus untuk penyandang cacat yang menggunakan kursi roda. Selanjutnya, lokasi tempat pemungutan suara harus mudah dijangkau, di tempat yang rata, tidak berbatu-batu, tidak berbukit-bukit, tidak berumput tebal, tidak melompati parit, dan tidak bertangga-tangga. Apabila kondisi ini ternyata didapati di lapangan, maka petugas tempat pemungutan suara akan membantu pemilih tersebut agar dapat menggunakan hak pilihnya. Selain itu, untuk pemilih pada pemilu anggota DPD, presiden dan wakil presiden, serta pemilihan gubernur, bupati, dan wali kota, pemilih tunanetra dalam memberikan suaranya dapat menggunakan hak bantu tunanetra yang disediakan. Bapak Ibu hadirin yang saya hormati, pemilih yang berkebutuhan khusus merupakan salah satu elemen pemilih yang menentukan masa depan bangsa. Oleh karenanya, KPU berusaha keras untuk menyelenggarakan pemilihan umum yang dapat diakses dengan mudah dan nyaman oleh penyandang disabilitas. Selain itu, dalam rangka penyelenggaraan pemilu akses, KPU telah merumuskan regulasi, membuat pedoman teknis, melaksanakan sosialisasi dan komunikasi yang melibatkan elemen penyandang cacat sebagaimana yang telah dijabarkan di atas. Semua hal tersebut merupakan upaya yang telah dilakukan oleh KPU dalam rangka pemenuhan hak politik penyandang disabilitas, serta agar kita semua dapat berpartisipasi aktif dalam pemilihan umum yang berkualitas. Ke depan, kita akan mengajak semua pihak yang dapat membantu agar melihat dan kemudian ikut memfasilitasi, mempermudah pemilih disabilitas apabila datang ke tempat pemungutan suara. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, harapan saya forum ini dapat menghasilkan rekomendasi yang dapat meningkatkan peran serta penyandang disabilitas dalam pemilu dan demokrasi, juga dapat memberikan masukan konstruktif khususnya kepada stakeholder pemilu dan perumusan peraturan terkait pemilu akses. Demikianlah hal-hal yang dapat saya sampaikan dalam pembukaan ini. Sekali lagi saya menyampaikan sukses kepada penyelenggara kegiatan ini dan kepada seluruh peserta yang ada. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Please remain on stage, Pak. And please accompany His Excellency, Mr. Afifuddin, Ms. Risnawati Utami, and Mr. Gufron for the striking of the gong to mark open the third regional dialogue on access to elections. The third regional dialogue on access to elections is now officially over. And now a photo session. We would like to invite Mr. Afendi Jamin on stage, Mr. Chris Don, His Excellency Mr. Simon Philip Merrifield, Mr. Vasu Mohan, Mr. Suyong Choi, and Ms. Justitia Arif, and Mr. Rizky Ferianto to join His Excellency on stage for a photo session. This is the time when we like you to smile. Thank you so much. Please return to your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and that concludes the opening ceremony of Agenda 3rd Regional Dialogue on Access to Elections. We will now break for coffee and tea and some refreshments. Please return to the room at 30 minutes from now to follow keynote speech by Indonesia representative to ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights, Mr. Rafendi Jamin, which will be followed by the first plenary session. Meanwhile, we invite our friends, members,